Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared. This is Justice's Waiting Room, a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. The video I made this morning is something that, until resolved, will forever be in my mind. Um, Morning UTC. One of the things that we're learning is that this shooter's being uncooperative in Utah. And I try to think about what this means. He apparently confessed in a Discord chat, and he confessed to his dad, and his dad turned him in. I think he chickened out. I don't think he fired a shot. You know why? I actually think the impact of that rifle shot on Charlie Kirk would have tore him off that seat. And I have seen new, and not new, I've now seen two different videos. And the crazier thing, you know, it was like, at first, I saw a video of what appeared to be a 20 to 25 meter shot. And I gotta tell you, with a pistol from his near right, that's a hard shot. That's a hard shot. But I've seen a video this morning where it's not a 25-meter shot, it's a 12-meter shot, and it's near right. And that's not that hard of a shot. And what compounds, if he was shot by a Mauser from 250, he like flails back on that chair. It's a fucking and the reason he went down like he did is because he took the shot from his right. I'm telling you, that kid was supposed to shoot him in the chest, and he didn't pull the trigger. Charlie Kirk did not get shot from his 10 o'clock high, 250 meters out by a Mauser. I've hunted my whole life. When you hit something with a rifle at range, it topples. It doesn't remain in the upright seated position and just, that's not what it looks like. Okay? And if you just think about physics, when you get shot from your left, it's not like there's so much blood in you that it leaks out the hole it created. That's not how it works. In fact, the blood splatter typically follows the direction of the shot. I think one of the reasons Charlie Kirk went down like he did is because he knew who did it. He knew that shit came from his fucking right, and it was supposed to be somebody there with him. And there's a reason they're tromping all over the fucking crime scene, and which is also on fucking video, and it's because they're trying to muddy the picture. The picture's becoming clearer. I've now seen this video twice. I saw it pretty grainy before, and I was like, it could be a guy's shirt just moving funny, or maybe he had an umbrella in his hand or something. Like that could make sense, but the the more clear that video from his right becomes, and it's only going to get clearer. It's only going to get clearer. They were trying to peg Ryan Patterson, who I think was supposed to shoot him in the chest, and he chickened the fuck out and didn't shoot him. He didn't fire a shot. Do you think other people are saying the same thing? I don't know, but I'm connecting the dots. Nick Fuentes, when it first happened, he did the most reasonable thing, and that was condemn violence. And I was like, that's the most reasonable thing. And then I watched this video this morning of him just fucking eating, just drinking blood, dude. Just he's bloodthirsty now. See, one of the things that they try to get off of you in the Marine Corps infantry They try to take away your bloodlust. That's not a healthy outlook. You can't be out there thinking about constantly the thought of violence cannot drive you. It has to be something else. Hmm. Yes, that weapon would have made a much louder sound. It wasn't silenced, and you would have heard it. It would have been very distinct. It would have echoed in think about it. It was like he shot think about shooting a rifle into a valley. That's what it would have been, a huge crash. That's what that fucking rifle sounds like when you actually shoot that shit. And that's not what you heard. And the thing about it is, there's plenty of video of that kid laying on the roof, and there's even a video of his egress. Where's the video of his shot? Where's the out the front of the rifle? That you would have had video of that. Why you have video of him laying there? You have video of him running off the roof. Why isn't there a video of the actual this movement and and the and the gas explosion out of the chamber of the rifle? Why isn't there video of that? Because it doesn't exist. Because he didn't fire a shot. He's a mark. Hmm. He just laid there. He didn't fire a shot. Charlie Kirk wasn't shot from the upper left, 10 o'clock high, 250 meters out by Mauser. It would have toppled him. He would have like broke the chair that he was sitting in, and like Ben ended up on the floor. And also, if he gets shot in the neck 10 o'clock high, it's probably coming out back here and or bouncing around your rib cage and shit, and it's fucking you up, bro. He was supposed to get shot in the chest just like in Butler, and the kid chickened the fuck out, and somebody shot Charlie Kirk from his near right 4 o'clock rear. And that's why he went down like he did. He went like this, like, oh, fuck! Like, you could tell, like, ah, shit. Like, he got taken down by someone in his own. They made it. It's like they intercepted Fuentes' kid, the Groypers, trying to commit a assassination, and the kid chickened out last second, and they took the opportunity anyway. It's like they knew the kid was going to be laying there, and they have him. He's cooked. He's cooked. He's so cooked. Uncooperative with authorities, actually, and that makes me think he didn't do it. Hmm. It makes me think he got in the room and he was like, in the beginning, just like the book, he was supposed to survive. Fucking told you, he was supposed to get shot in the chest, and the kid didn't pull the trigger. Somebody killed him from his own circle. Yep, BB didn't like him. I told you. Damn, I'm good. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. No, you know whose fault this is? Video games. This is video games' fault. This is video games and books and TV shows. This is me playing LA Noire. By the way, LA Noire is a great fucking video game. You play a detective in LA. It's fucking great. But it teaches you investigative strategy, and like you actually learn like when you get through and through, the blood splatter goes with the bullet, because the bullet went in, went out, right, through and through. That's why Charlie Kirk bled out left and fell out left, is because he got shot from the right. So the shock is going to take him in the direction of the bullet. So everything physically that happened to Charlie Kirk post shot indicates that he was shot from his right. There's absolutely not a shred of fucking evidence that kid fired a round out of his rifle, and also it would have been much louder. There was no silencer. They showed you the rifle. It was just a straight bore. Yep. Yep. And the thing about it is that she was the backup. They planned this out. They knew that there's a chance he dies, and she's the next in line. And this has been the plan all along. Donald Trump groomed this little girl, and she doesn't see it. Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk. Somehow that bitch's name has three K's in it. How the fuck is she just walking around with three K's in her first and last name? Like, ain't nothing going on here? The fuck? Make that bitch change her way she spells her name. That's three K's. That's one, at least one too many. I want I want justice. I don't think Ryan Patterson did it. He doesn't look like the shooter. I think they're two different people. If you're gonna assassinate someone, why take such a risky shot? Because you're a child. God, it makes me unendingly fucking sad. So think about this. There's no absolutely no reason, none. There is no reason to make any content aimed at MAGA. Okay? There's no reason for me to say, "Hey MAGA, come get me." It just makes you really fucking dumb. I don't care if you're making money and you're getting hits and likes and comments for being divisive. A social media firm did an audit of right-wing politicians and people like Charlie Kirk before the 2024 US election, and 90% of the people following these people are bots that these guys bought to follow them. Think about Elon Musk having a best friend in game and it turning out that he was pretending to be his own best friend. Hey, yeah, good games last night. Yeah, yep. I called both those. I called Bucks Chargers. You guys might want to watch my wife and I's weekly video where we predict the winners of each NFL game. In week one, I picked 12 winners. Um, can't do you much better than that. My wife won't let me. Um, but yeah, we think she ends up with Vance. I don't. Hey, JD Vance pisses me off. He's so blatantly full of shit. It's just, ugh, what a turd. What is MAID? Medically assisted death. Hey, just know that if you're rich enough, yeah, my wife and I's YouTube channel. Yeah. But yeah, good morning, Beck, Miss Evelyn, Stacy, Gabby, Angie, Squint. What up, though? We got the podcast yesterday. He is crazy. Huh. Canada's made laws. All right, 5 hours ago. This is very recent news. Hey, we're probably the first people reporting on this. Israel has committed genocide in Gaza, the most no shit fucking 6 words in the English language. A UN Commission of Inquiry says. So the UN, the United Nations Commission of Inquiry says Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. So The U.S. is part of the UN, okay? And I know everybody wants to talk about it. It's my least favorite shit to talk about. Donald Trump has killed another boat with three people on it in fucking the middle of the ocean, saying it's a Venezuelan drug cartel boat. The first boat that they killed all them people, it was tuna fishermen. They killed 11 tuna fishermen. I wonder what three people died fucking senselessly. And remember, following orders is not a defense. So the boys flying in planes, the people shooting them people, they're not gonna get away with it. They're gonna get tried for fucking war crimes. 1,000%. Donald Trump won't protect you. He can't. hmm Yep. It takes time. That's why we called it Justice's Waiting Room. That's one of the things that happens is that it's not a crime until it happens, and then it's not a crime until somebody trumps up charges. You know what I mean? Until somebody creates an irrefutable package of evidence that there's nothing he can do about it. And I honestly believe that's what they're waiting on. They're actually, I think they're waiting on him to die, so that he doesn't hurt anyone. And I know that there's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, he's sacrificing him." He's not actually sacrificing Americans yet. We're not at that part. But at this stage, yeah, they're mistreating a lot of people. It's, gosh, we just deserve better leadership. You know, you deserve somebody that actually gives a fuck. The last, yeah, because they're saying it was three men on a boat. All right, 3:36 a.m. So again, we're probably the first people reporting on shit like this. Uh, President Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, is asking Donald Trump for a clear position on Ukraine. The Saratov oil refinery has been set ablaze. But yeah, you've noticed there's a little bit of lag between when somebody does something bad and when they actually get arrested. And I know that it sucks. I know that it sucks, but it's real. hmm Gavin Newsom warns Stephen Miller's trying to dismantle democracy. The no shit of the week. Donald Trump is going to designate Antifa and other left wing groups as domestic terrorists. Just know this: there's no such fucking thing as Antifa. Just so somebody says it, there ain't no goddamn such thing. Is his hearing televised today? No. So disappointed with Newsom. Yeah. Somebody said he's gonna fall flat. I told you he has no policies. He's anti-homeless. How much do you need to know about someone before you realize like he's just another rich motherfucker, bro? Gavin Newsom, as you know him, is a 29-year-old Latina girl memeing President Trump into a fucking stroke. Which, by the way, I want to point out Donald Trump did not go to the Charlie Kirk Memorial. He went golfing. He don't even give a fuck about you. It's because he can't give a fuck about you. Because if he takes a moment to think about what he does, he'll just die. If he takes a moment, that's why dementia is great. Because he could do all kinds of destructive shit, and he can't even remember he did it. Mm-hmm. This crypto deal is a fucking massive scam. Who knew? Who knew? The problem's on the left. The problem's on the left. Yeah, right. I do agree with this. We have to settle this Groiper shit. Like what the fuck is going on, bro? Yeah. Man, Donald Trump's a gaslighting asshole. He said he would have lowered flags in Minnesota if they had just asked. Come on, man. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. Hey, look, a politician trying to write a bill. Look, everyone, someone's trying to do their goddamn job. After the election on the 23rd, we should have the last vote. There you go. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. And just understand that every day has to be an every day has to be an escalation from the prior day. Otherwise, it's not interesting. It doesn't pop. And I just want you to know, like, political assassination, fucking killing people in open water, like, he's a chicken shit, but that don't mean he ain't afraid to kill people. That's fucking sure. He got no problem gunning motherfuckers down in a boat in the middle of open water. Um, yeah. But Elizabeth Warren has introduced a bill to ban employers from running credit reports and hiring. That ought to help. Yesterday, Donald Trump officially spreads his fascist military takeover to Memphis. Now, I want to point out a couple things. First of all, Memphis is beautiful. Okay, um, especially down on the river, and that it is povertous. And that is the sad part about Memphis is that it is embroiled in fucking poverty. And it ought to be a real fucking eye opener for all those people that get deployed to fucking Memphis. It's the first time them white boys are gonna feel real unsafe. And remember, they don't have bullets in their guns, and they don't have ROE to engage. and know they're not wanted there. And also theft. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how dumb you'd have to be in Memphis to deploy the military and arm them and shit. Oh, guns are getting stolen. 100%. 100%. hmm Yeah, good morning, Val. Yeah. Taco killer, diaper killer. Yeah. I love how white people are like, Democrats have 400 days to save democracy. We gotta act now. And it's like, what do you think we've been doing? You dildo. You know what I saw a video of this morning, and I was like, wait a minute, we might be onto something. I saw whole home plug and play solar. If that's where we are right now, where you could spend $1,200 and change out the supply system in your house, and you could do it with hand tools. Oh, it's over. It's over. I just watched the guy plug into a 1330, and I was like, ain't no fucking way. Whole home power. You see, they're going door to door to find people for the contest that showed as no votes. Some people are saying they know about it and are freaking out. What? Luxembourg will recognize the state of Palestine. I don't know what this means. U.S. warns Canada of potential negative consequences if it dumps the F 35. It looks like Canada is going to cancel an order of 88 F 35s. It's unfortunate that Tennessee gave up their state's sovereignty to the federal government. Now they have no options. Jeez. So the prosecutor prosecuting Ghislaine Maxwell was fired, and they're now suing the Trump administration. Hey, let me explain something to everybody that maybe you haven't figured out yet. Okay? When Donald Trump sues someone, it's not because he thinks he's going to win. When someone sues Donald Trump, oh, they won that shit. Going away. It's not even close. Yeah. hmm Yep. You'd have to be a fucking Looney Tunes to think anybody's suing Donald Trump that ain't nailing that ass. Okay, so Donald Trump, I will forever, to me, be the man. That motherfucker lost to everything. Kept getting dealt pocket aces and kept fucking losing. Yep, that's Donald J. Trump. hmm Oh yeah, this is what we need right here. This is what we need, more of this. We need more of this energy. GOP senators blow steam on Russia. They're sick of Trump, Vance, and their love affair with Putin. Yes. Yes. Here's a GOP backtracking on that bill that would let Marco Rubio revoke passports from Israeli critics. Yo. So, cause and effect. And yes, I did see Donald Trump said that 300 fucking million people died of drugs last year. I want to point this out. I want to point this out. What did people die of last year? So let's look at the top 10 causes of death, okay? From 2 years ago, 2023, okay? Heart disease killed 680,000 people. Do you see how that's the number one killer of Americans? Is fucking heart disease, and how it's only 680,000. So do you now understand that 300 million Americans did not die of a drug overdose last year? The biggest killer of Americans last year was heart disease. The second biggest killer of Americans is cancer, 613,000. Accidents, unintentional injury, 222,000. Chronic lower respiratory diseases, 145,000. Alzheimer's disease kills 114,000. Diabetes, 95,000. Kidney disease, 55,000. Chronic liver disease and cirrhosis, 52,000. COVID 19 killed 49,000, almost 50,000 people in 2023. So when we think about what's killing Americans, none of that is self inflicted. Good to go. None of that was guns. None of that was political violence. Sure as fuck was not 300 million Americans dying of drug overdoses. The stats are very clear in your face. There's not a lot you can do about a lot of that shit. Get 8 hours of sleep, eat right, exercise, drink water. Hope you don't get any of those things. Right? Right? Because it looks like to me the accidental death, couple 100,000 people a year, okay? Look at all the other ways that you die that surround accidental death, and then tell me what are the odds you dying in an accident given dying of something else. Right? Right? Lifestyle diseases and shit. Okay? Now, so not only is it dumb, but it's real easy to Google. And that's what I fucking can't stand. When somebody tells me something that's blatantly not true and I can just go Google it. There were two. Yeah. Multiple HBCUs were put on lockdown. Two black men were found hanging from a tree. It's awful. I reached out to my boys and said, I love y'all. Stay safe. Fuck all these people, bro. Um, it didn't happen on their campuses or near their campuses, but they're in Alabama and North Carolina. So it's only a matter of time. Okay? Only a matter of time before some dumb shit happens near them, not to them. They're the sweetest kids ever. I've never met a man that became more unpopular faster. Yeah, I love these people getting shit on all the fucking time. It's just great. It's just great. JD Vance plans to honor Charlie Kirk by no longer shouting at his own wife. Donald Trump had a meltdown last night, threatened to declare a new national emergency in a late night meltdown. Yeah, change levels, stay in a group, duck and dodge. Womp, 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 womp. LGBTQ plus nation reporting the president was sued for deleting radical LGBTQ plus web pages and lost. Remember, like I said, Donald Trump is the only person that I've ever met. Okay. When he sues someone, it's not necessarily because he thinks he's going to win. When somebody sues Donald Trump's ass, oh, they win. They win. And by the way, if you are fired or your employment changes any way because of comments you make on the internet, sue those motherfuckers. hmm That is a violation of your First Amendment. And join a union. Above all things, I don't say it often enough. Okay? I know a lot of people are averse. It's not a hard thing to do. It it's not a big ask. It's not asking you for time. You can just like become a member and start talking about the unions. Okay? We are in day one of blackout the system. So for blackout the system. So yeah, if you didn't know, this shit's going on for the next 4 days. Now, the best part about this is if you've been a fan of the show and you've been participating, right? We've said stop using Facebook, Threads, IG, WhatsApp, Messenger, Twitter, right? Stop using these sites. Stop using Amazon. Shop locally. Yeah, hi, Bob's from Missouri. Oh, by the way, my Indianapolis Colts did not pay a tribute to Charlie Kirk, and thank God. It'd be real hard to root for you if you're fucking you're celebrating the life of a CEO. What the fuck? Who also doesn't have a fucking thing to do with football. Charlie Kirk's not manly. Ooh, Spain calls for Israel and Russia to be banned from international sports competitions. I can get behind this. Deport the racists to Mars, the billionaires. Check out this article from Business Korea. Korea requests unlimited currency swap from U.S. government. New Colts fan here. Have to say I was in love with Jeff Saturday. My wife says I look like Jeff Saturday. Which I like was every fat guy with a beard look like Jeff Saturday now. I don't think he just looks so fucking angry all the time. Signatures against the new redistricting bill. Yeah, some shit's going on here, kids. India joins Russia, Belarus, Zapad 2025 military drills from the first time. The U.S. is there too. India, India, Russia, Belarus, the United States military all observing war games. How you fight war now. All right, so here's Axios reporting Israel's launched a ground offensive to occupy Gaza City. Oh, Robert Redford died. He was an activist. God, he was old as fuck, bro. Look at his face. God damn. Hey, we got 24 people in here today. Good morning. In the mountains outside Provo. So he was in Hollywood for fucking ever, bro. U.S. consumers are feeling the stress of inflation, interest rates. By the way, 89 still young? Yeah, I mean, the socialist economic theory says that rent, interest, and taxes are derivative of your labor and should be eliminated. No taxes without representation. Remember, a lot of people that I talk to are making changes to their the way their taxes are collected. Oh my God, we are led by fucking horrible assholes. Like, look at this shit. All right, so Jesus Christ, man. The U.S. is overplaying their position in these wars, talking about like a war with Russia and saying that if China withdrew its support from Russia, the U.S. would mop the floor with Russia. and that China's just like a junior partner. And China's like, our trade's not targeted at anyone. Why are we being bothered? I don't understand. The majority of countries, including the US and Europe, continue to engage in trade with Russia. That's what Lin Jian, the spokesman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, said. So all these countries are. So here's China kind of exposing the United States, by the way. I posted the same story twice, sorry. British fighter jets are going to fly air defense missions over Poland. Hey, listen. I know not everybody's into the same shit. God damn it, airplanes are cool, man. Like, wasteful as fuck. They poison the sky, all that shit. But god damn it. That's a pretty plane. That's a Typhoon. Hmm? RAF Typhoon. Yeah, it's a cool plane. Swiss Parliament is in favor of Swiss defense partnership with the EU. Motion for talks to begin negotiations. Want more cooperation with NATO. So it's kind of happening. All the powers that be. Yeah. The small aircraft are more maneuverable, um, easier to fly and control. And you know what's funny about flying is like it doesn't feel like you're going as fast as you're going. You ever seen B-52 in person? Yeah. Hmm. My parents, when I was a little kid, my parents took me to the Oshkosh air shows, and because my daddy was in the Navy, I got to go on Navy bases and walk into the back of C-130s and climb in an F-14 and shit when I was growing up. Mhm. Yep. And I only ever had a C-130 backed up to me one time, and we did not load up and get on it and go anywhere. And I am relieved. They shut that shit down. Yeah. Boss's old two-seater is a lot noisier. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't like small to medium aircraft. I don't like, so it's got to be a 7 series for me to get in it cuz I'm a big guy. But even those, I mean, if you've ever been on like a Spirit 7, like that feels like some rickety shit. Um, but yeah, I've flown in an Airbus. Russia is sentencing the band Pussy Riot are in absentia to jail. In absentia to prison on charges related to anti-war performances critical of Russia's military actions. I want to continue to point out that it is a violation of your freedom of speech for you to receive punishment from your government for exercising your free speech. So say all that you want about all that you want and know that A lot of attorneys would work for free. Mhm. See, this is what I was thinking. A Finnish general has warned that Russian and Belarusian exercises may have unexpected turns. And then I said, hey, India went. The United States is there. What the fuck? Here's a Finnish general saying some fuck shit is gonna happen. Flew in an ultralight too, freaking out being enclosed in a cabin. Yeah. Papua New Guinea celebrates its journey to independence 50 years after parting with Australia. Yeah, the Ospreys are absolute fucking garbage. In Sudan, they're starving people. Here's just I didn't know that Poland had received the first two batches of M1 Abrams tanks. So I find that this interesting as well. All Spirit you. Yeah. I've flown on Spirit. I've felt my spirit. You know what I'm saying? My spirit saying, hey man, you might want to hold on to that fucking chair, dog. We're going to be exiting this life. What the fuck? They're going to start a war with fucking China. Army reveals U.S. mid-range Typhoon missiles in Japan for the first time. Jesus Christ. Massive global war. Spirit Airlines, you mean the only time I've spoken to my inner child? Like, you know that's duct tape. What happens if you pull that? Are we all gonna die? Well, here's an interesting story. Mummies found in Southeast Asia could be the world's oldest. They were exposed to heat, suggested they had been smoke dried over fire and mummified. Get hit in the head. Man, this makes me incredibly fucking sad. Look how Russia treats its fucking POWs. So, this report from the Kiev Independent, it shows that if you're Russian and you get captured and you're a POW and you get released, they just send you back to the front line to die. Man, man, I thought they treated American war heroes bad. Rumors of UBS. I don't know what that is. Swiss banking. United Bank of Switzerland. I'm guessing is going to move to the United States. Probably cheaper. Lots of these places are it's getting real cheap to. IDF warns of a ground invasion of the Gaza Strip as tanks. That's all you're allowed to know. Yeah. So think about this. Israel and Russia are a money pit. Like they're not these economies their economies are not doing good. War is not good for you. Remember I told you this. Smedley Butler, okay? One of the most decorated fucking Marines said war's a racket. These billionaires are getting rich. These defense contractors and weapons makers, they're getting rich. These people in the military are making money. See, China is firing a water cannon at the Philippines and the South China Sea. All right. FCDO, the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, has summoned the Russian ambassador following the violation of Polish airspace. Yeah, what the fuck? All right, somebody said Kash Patel is like an Indian woman or an Indian man dating. I forget who the fuck his SO is. Telling like an oh, I think his wife is like an Orthodox Jew or something like that. It was like an Indian man telling a white Orthodox Jewish married to an Orthodox Jewish woman telling they're gonna meet in Valhalla, like the Vikings Valhalla is like comedy, right? On offense stuff. So no, it's all yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Largest delegation of U.S. lawmakers visits Israel 3 hours ago. Yes! A British TV station is going to air a marathon of Donald Trump's lies as he visits the UK. Let's go. Let's go. Name and shame. Somebody said he must have been a Viking for Halloween. Valhalla. What the fuck do you mean no foul play? How the fuck you hang someone from a tree and it ain't a foul? Fuck are we talking about? You know how obvious it is? Nobody hangs themselves. Delta State University found the body of Demetravion Trey Reed, a 21-year-old student, hanging from the tree in the middle of campus on Monday morning. His death set off a wave of mourning across the university and prompted the cancellation of centennial events for the 100-year-old institution. Broken limbs does not mean. Fuck you mean? Fuck you mean no broken limbs? And it's a black police officer, Mike Peeler. Listen to this. Think about the speech used. Bolivar County Deputy Coroner Murray Rourke told the Mississippi Free Press in a September 15th interview that he assisted his colleague, Deputy Coroner Dwayne Proctor, in examining Reed's body. Contrary to rumors on social media, Rourke said he saw no evidence of broken arms or legs. So I don't understand how, if you hang someone, why do they have to have broken arms or legs in order for there to be foul play? He declined to elaborate further. He dug himself a hole, stating that the case was still under investigation. It's not a case closed. I don't think I should probably discuss this any further than that. My opinion that it was self done. What the fuck does that even mean? And I have reasons for that. Peeler said an investigation into Reed's death is ongoing, and no further comment on the details of Reed's passing pending the release of a full autopsy. So, when we say no evidence of foul play, what we mean is he doesn't appear to have also got his arms and legs broken before it did it, and that's fucking stupid. It is a fucking stupid thing to say out of your mouth hole that you think someone killed themselves and hung themselves because they don't have broken arms and legs. And I just want you to point out the correlation is not causation, and this is not fucking sixth grade. This is adults. We are adults now. I don't give a fuck what the reason that he said that is because that Rourke person is a white man. 100% promise you that. Uh-huh. And Peeler said the investigation is still ongoing. So there's a lot of people going to feel a lot of ways. The investigation's not closed on these things. They're not open and shut. That's not how any of this works. I know that if this were 1950s America, that's how this shit would have worked. That's not how this shit works today. Mm-mm. It will be investigated. They'll find out who did it. 100%. Okay? Conservatism is a domination fetish. Republicans are scrambling to kick Ilhan Omar off her committee over her Charlie Kirk comments. Again, the government can't punish you for exercising your free speech. Agree with this headline. Political violence is abhorrent. Charlie Kirk didn't think so. Hey, he remember, I'll never forget the last thing that Charlie Kirk said out of his mouth. He was asked about what percentage of school shooters are transphobic, and he brought up gang violence. Or what percentage of shooters are trans, and he said something about gang violence. So I just want to complete, like, it's not like there was anything virtuous about Charlie Kirk. I want to make sure we continue to say that. I don't want to continue to talk about him other than that he is a CEO that was assassinated. And I think this should be setting off alarm bells to Republicans, and they should reverse course on a lot of fucking things, but they won't because they're led by a goddamn idiot. Yeah. Democrats are doing better than ever in Trump era special elections. There's a bunch of data. Okay. Democrats are like way overperforming in elections. Okay. Trump says he's going to sue the New York Times for 15 billion, alleging defamation and libel. Yeah. In the end, before he passed, he was calling for the release of the Epstein files, and he also questioned Israel. Yep. And those would be about the only couple things he and I'd agree on. But literally everything out of his mouth outside of that is just wrong-headed, intentionally wrong-headed and divisive. It's Schrodinger, is it Schrodinger's ball, right? I win even when I lose. That's their attitude. And the thing about it is, to be completely honest with you, I didn't take in Charlie Kirk, so I don't have the same vitriol because I didn't take him in. I didn't have time to build up my fucking dislike for him. I just disliked the guy flatly and dismissed him entirely. It's that it. That's it. I dismissed him entirely. That means I never listened to him as a thought leader and was like, what this person's saying makes sense because that's stupid. West Hollywood, flying fucking flags at half mast and shit for Charlie Kirk is insane. Is insane work. Calvin ball, sorry. What'd I say? Schrodinger's ball. GOP momentum grows to force Trump DOJ to release Epstein files. How long after a special election are you sworn in? Survey says almost immediately, if not the next day. I seen 5 minutes of one of his rallies about a month ago. Had to turn it off. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The scuba diver robs Disney Springs Western restaurant and swims away. Fuck yeah, I'm about this shit. Yeah, yeah, I didn't need to watch a show. I saw the clips. Same thing. Hey, same thing with fucking Hassan, right? Like peace to Hassan. I like Hassan's content. Guess what? I'm not a bootlicker. So I don't like watch every show front to back. I might see a clip every now and then. I'm like, dude's chill. I'm cool. He ain't doing nothing wrong, right? 80 NGOs launched a campaign urging European countries to stop all commercial investment activities related to Israel's settlements in Palestinian territories. Groups like the French supermarket giant Carrefour stand accused of directly or indirectly enabling a humanitarian crisis driven by Israel's prolonged occupation. Hey, this is important. Big deal. Yeah, the only thing I learned from Charlie Kirk was brush your goddamn teeth, you heathen. So, do you know what I learned from Charlie Kirk? Stop smiling with all them fucking gums, dude. Jesus. That's what I learned. Brush your fucking teeth, and I can't even show my gums. I can't even show my gums. I can't even show my gums like this. I can't do it. Like, this is my impression of Charlie Kirk smiling, right? He's like the fucking predator, like half molted onto his face, and then just said, "Fuck it, I'll be a pussy instead." I don't know how else to. The Bible doesn't tell me to brush my teeth. You goddamn right, Zeke. There are no chapters in a biblioteca. That was a bad Spanish translation for library. Uh, but you're right. There's nothing in the Bible about brushing your teeth. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. Yeah, he looks like the child who wanted to be the predator. It's a literal one, but like his face didn't fully transform. I saw a video by the way over the weekend, and it was like a video. It was an overlay of like Charlie Kirk's of Erica Kirk with her hand on Charlie Kirk's dead ass hands, and the funniest part was is they were trying to explain how when you die and they drain all your blood, it changes the color of your skin so much that they have to put that makeup on you to give you some warmth. Otherwise, you're cold and pale and you're veiny too. Um, and somebody said, "Nah, that's his dead ass hands." And I, uh, stop fucking playing. Those are his dead ass hands. Is just evil work. When people out there they're like, "It's those are fake hands. That's not him. He's still alive." And somebody's like, "Nah, bitch, those are his dead ass hands." And she was laying on them shits. I'm just letting you know. If I die, if I get unalived, don't be fucking romantic on my corpse. I just want to make sure I say it into a fucking camera. Don't fucking lay on me, bitch. I'm dead. What the fuck? I don't have no organs or blood in my body, and you're putting your skin on my skin? You fucking freak. This is like a it's like a blood sacrifice or some shit. I think this was the plan all along. I think Erica Kirk was meant to follow Donald Trump. He groomed her. He groomed her. But yeah, you don't want to ever be my enemy. I go straight for the jugular. I don't give a shit. Whole thing so morbid and weird as fuck. Hey, and you know what, Gabby? I feel like the last 8 years of my life. Kind of morbid and weird as fuck. Just throwing that out there. It's almost like the people in charge are fucking dying. All these motherfuckers, Putin, Bibi, Trump, dying. And I ain't talking about like getting killed. I'm talking about like, no, like their fucking bodies are giving up. And rightfully fucking so. This is what I want to see. Not a tear unless some laughter when I kick the bucket. Fuck no. I want to see people shotgunning beers and trying to make them into the casket. You know what I mean? That's what Jared would have wanted. Have a good time one last time. Yeah, just remember if you ever feel like not going to work, you could just tell them that you died from drugs. Tell them that you're one of the 300 million. I die from drugs all the time, by the way. hmm Just to fuck up their data. Bravo has a clip of Erica Kirk on their show, Summer House. She's all about wanting fame no matter what, according to her friends. Mm, 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 mm. Why couldn't she have gotten into knitting? You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Beer pong on my casket. Yeah. Yeah, Beck, we already talked about Robert Redford. Remember that little twat from Georgia that called ICE on that Hyundai plant? Oh, she's a lawyer too. So, man, I've met the lawyers that have passed the bar and shit. Taking a test is taking a test. Like the bar, the LSAT. I've taken a practice LSAT. That's not that high of a mountain to climb. Russia's fucked, bro. Russia revives barter trade to dodge Western sanctions. Hey, you know you're fucked, right? When your country's bartering. She's not taking over Turning Point. They don't even like women. That's funny. No, I just think she's going to be the. I think she's going to take Donald Trump's place. I think she'll be the presidential candidate in 2028. Huh? Pretty white girl, Miss America, Donald Trump's fucking protege. No, because Gabby, I would also have to wake up without a penis. That's fucking insane work. I think they want to start war because they're ugly people on the inside and the outside. I always wondered what would happen to all the incredibly ugly people that I've ever met in my entire life. GOP. Mar-a-Lago. Fuck you know. Yeah, I thought for sure if anybody ever saw Charlie Kirk's face that they would never suck his dick, but here we are. He has kids. I don't fucking know. Definitely definitely doggy style. That's the face of a woman who's never had missionary with Charlie Kirk. The lack of horror on her face. And the best part about it is once she takes the blood pact with the Trump cult, her face is going to start to fly off. So, we sure those are his kids? Again, he Charlie Kirk was ugly enough on the inside and the outside that I could see it being very difficult for him to reproduce simply because of how grotesque a person he was. Do you know how unfuckable Charlie Kirk was? He wasn't even on my list of unfuckables. That's how ugly that motherfucker is. He was so ugly a person that I hadn't even considered him a potential assassination target. I It was a fucking shock to me. Like when I found Charlie Kirk got shot, I was like, "Why? Did he get shot by somebody more famous?" Cuz that makes sense. Nope. And then the best part about it is having fucking Nick Fuentes dance on his fucking grave is just chef's kiss. How could you want to be a part of that entire gaggle of motherfuckers knowing they will dance on your grave, bro? Nope. Nope. I don't want to be friends with that shit. Especially none of those people bothered to tell Charlie Kirk you need to lose a bunch of weight. Stop fucking smiling like that or I'm gonna punch you in the throat. Nobody ever told Charlie Kirk that how the fuck you gonna be that ugly and be on TV? Like how the fuck? But Erica Kirk, and I'm not even saying she's pretty. I'm saying she's GOP pretty. I'm saying she looks like Donald Trump pretty. It's kind of creepy. She's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. Assuming nobody decides to run her through with a fucking whatever. I want to make sure we end the show as we started it saying I've had a lot of time to think about Charlie Kirk's assassination and he was not shot with a rifle from a 30-degree angle 250 meters. Nah, it would have shunted him. He would have shrunk in his chair. The blood comes out the opposite side if it exits the body. He was shot from his near rear right, 4 o'clock, through and through, and the blood splatter came out left. His inertia went left. Your body goes towards the direction of the shot. So when he went left, he went away from being shot from his right. Mhm. MAGA pretty. Yeah. Because you've noticed there ain't no pretty people over there. Like, look at Stephen Miller. Look at Charlie. I mean, don't look at Charlie Kirk's corpse. That's weird. But like Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, Elon Musk. Like they're not good looking. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Peter Thiel. They're not pretty. Look at the fucking women. Laura Loomer. That bitch looks like Jigsaw. Now she didn't used to. How the fuck are you part of that shit and you look like Jigsaw? And nobody ain't called that shit out? Do you want to play a game? Nobody even starts that shit with her? I would never get off that. If Listen, if we're enemies and there's something about you that just fits you, a description to it, you're eating it. Breakfast, lunch, and fucking dinner. I'm eating it. Nip tuck is not supposed to be everyone. Yeah, yeah, man, you gotta be really unhappy to get fucking plastic surgery anyway. Or you just have a fucked up schnoz. I've seen people with just like really badly designed noses. That's That's a whole industry. Actually, I think rethinking my life entirely, plastic surgeon. What the fuck? The money. I don't know. Like rhinoplasty? Holy shit. You could really unfuck a face. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he did it. I I listened to somebody try to tell me that he admitted doing it over Discord, and I was just like, weak. That's weak. That's not good evidence. I need better evidence than that. I need a round fired from that weapon recently, and I need a sound profile on it. Now that we've seen the weapon, I just want to hear somebody shoot it on camera from about the same distance, and it's ka. hmm Plastic surgery can't fix your vileness. Goddamn right, Bob. Ooh, Democrats are calling it the No Kings government shutdown. No, I mean, think of what you could have done for other people, and instead you got plastic surgery. You know? When I was a little kid, it was grown men trying to get legs, like get taller, and women were getting boob jobs. For the record, big fan of titties, believe it or not. So I'm definitely not unhappy. But yeah, that's basically been my entire life. So all the weird people with weird personalities got boob jobs. Yeah. Donnie Regime Report. Yeah, they're going to try to feed you some bullshit. So basically, whatever comes out about this shooting, know that it's hoodoo. It's garbage. There's again, everything that I've said follows logic. And there's this thing called physics. And you cannot defeat physics. Physics is fucking undefeated. I would question myself. I would question myself if I thought I was saying something fucking wrong about this situation. The kid didn't do it. He doesn't even look like the guy that they had pegged as a shooter. He looks similar. Hmm? So a similar looking person did what Ryan Patterson couldn't do. He was laying on that roof. He egressed from that roof, but he didn't fire a shot. Because there's video of him on the roof. There's video of him getting off the roof. Why isn't there a video of him firing the weapon? You would have seen a burst come out the end of the weapon, gas in a circle, and there's actually two cones around it in slow mo. There's the sound barrier that comes up first, and then when you break through the sound barrier, when the bullet pierces the sound speed of sound. hmm But either way, the facts are based on pretty reputable video. He was shot by a white person. 100%. And I think the kid they're trying to pin it on didn't do it. I don't think he did it. Yep. Black out the system. Yeah, I put the link in the chat earlier in the show. Change.org. Black out the system. Oh, I like this. I'm going to read it and then we'll get out of here. It's time to stand together, act boldly, and show our power. For too long, this system has abused, ignored, and exploited people it claims to serve. Now, we're taking it back. We, the undersigned, declare our full support for the Blackout the System movement, a nationwide economic shutdown aimed at confronting justice, oppression, and government betrayal sorry, through unified nonviolent action. The plan: we will launch a 5-day economic and labor blackout from September 16th to 20th, 2025. If you can't commit to all 5 days, stand with us on September 17th, Constitution Day, to honor our demand for a new, just system. Everyone can participate in the working strike. If you must work, here's how to participate. Work to rule. Only do what's in your job description, nothing more, nothing less. Go slow, work slow, walk slow, drive slow, slow down productivity. And shirk. Show up, but do not participate. Now, what we're doing now is we're blacking out every Friday leading up to the national election. Update your W-4 forms to temporarily claim tax exemption, withholding funds from the federal government. No taxation without representation, right? Remove money from all major banks and support alternatives that serve our communities. Canceling any and all unnecessary subscriptions. Spread the message. Like, comment, follow, repost, talk about it across all platforms. Why we're blacking out? Because we're done with dictatorship, oppression, corruption, price gouging, injustice, and we're done backing down. Key demands: immediate removal and accountability of the current federal administration, living wages nationwide, no worker left behind. Restored and expanded programs for the elderly, veterans, youth, and families in need. Due process for all who stand on U.S. soil. Full accountability for police, elected officials, and public servants. Criminal penalties for corporate price gouging and economic abuse. And fair tax policies that require large corporations to pay their share, not place the burdens on individuals. And then obviously the Epstein files unsealed and released. Now understand one of the problems that I have. One of the problems that I have is that the Epstein files are going to be released on the within within the month of September as a result of having enough votes to make it happen. So I kind of feel like if you know there's a special election coming up, Democrats are supposed to win that. They'll have enough votes to get out the Epstein files. I think you can remove it from your demands. You're going to get it anyway. Replace that demand with another demand. Citizens United, for example. Like, you don't have to have something a part of your platform that's going to happen as a result of the current group of elected officials. That's going to happen. You're wasting your energy demanding something that you're going to get anyway. Yeah, I'm in the People's Sick Day Discord. What's up with that shit? I don't understand this blackout the system versus the People's Sick Day. What's the fucking difference? And again, I've already been in blackout mode. You know what I'm saying? It's a separate protest. I think it's stupid. We'll announce it 48 hours prior. So what the fuck are you doing between now and then? Nothing? Hmm. Yeah, quit that fucking MAGA job. Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I got out of healthcare because I was representing United Healthcare, right? I was signing people up for their healthcare. And don't get it twisted, the first few years of that, people were flocking to United Healthcare. It wasn't until the last 2 years of the 5 years I spent in healthcare that people started wanting out. They wanted away from United Healthcare. I don't care what I got to do. I got to get away from United Healthcare. That only happened in the last couple of years, and that was the reason I got out of it. Because the more rural you are, the higher chance you have less healthcare providers available to you. And healthcare providers, a lot of the times, they don't control their contracts. They work for a hospital system, and that hospital system controls their contracts. So again, one of the problems about healthcare is that your healthcare plan's not healthcare. Nothing about what happens when you need help is healthcare other than the treatment you get from your doctor. Anything other than that is just like window dressing. And yeah. So and I didn't just work for United Healthcare. I sold a bunch of companies healthcare. It's just for a while United Healthcare was promising a lot more in terms of like what they would give poor people. Their healthcare was the best. It was $0, $0 copay, $0 max out of pockets, no deductibles, thousands of dollars for dental, vision, and hearing. We'll give you money for groceries. But what happened? They weren't fulfilling their promises they were making, which is evidenced. Other healthcare companies started making better promises and delivering, and they were Anthem, for the record, Blue Cross Blue Shield blows United Healthcare out of the water. Um, what's the small one in California? Kaiser Permanente. They don't turn down claims. So again, understand healthcare sucks. Not all healthcare companies do. Some of them are great. Kaiser Permanente. They're expensive, but they work. And I would rather have healthcare that works and costs money than have healthcare that costs less money but doesn't fucking do what it's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. See, and eventually, maybe one day when and if, right, I run for public office, people would ask you, what is your vision for universal health care? Okay? The game will largely remain the same. Annual enrollment, enrollment periods, healthcare companies, yada yada. The difference is that all those companies exist in 33 of 34 developed countries and offer universal healthcare. So all they would do is same healthcare plan, same amenities, $0 a month, $0 copay, $0 max out of pocket, $0 deductible. It's not hard to go in and change the graphic on your healthcare plans. It's not hard to just not charge for healthcare anymore. It's not hard. Mm-hmm. They have entire departments at hospitals for people with low to no income. They write it off anyway. So why charge you for it? Why charge you to use it? Why put you in a bad financial position when all you have to say is I can't pay for that, and they have a whole department that will just write off that your cost for healthcare? What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't even like that there's a line. You gotta be below this financial threshold to qualify. I don't give a fuck about that. We all are. You know who should pay lots of money for healthcare? Rich people. That's who should pay lots of money for healthcare. Every single other person, if you're not a billionaire, should pay nothing. You don't have the money to keep yourself alive. Them's just the facts. You don't have it now. You don't have it ever. You never have the money to keep yourself alive. Why would you want to pay for healthcare if you never have enough money to keep yourself alive? I talk to people all the time and have talked to people for fucking years of my life that paid thousands and thousands and thousands and everything they fucking had, and their fucking best friend died still. Their partner still died. So if you can't beat death, why are you paying for healthcare? If death comes anyway, what is the fucking point of paying for this shit? And you gotta understand, I've never done that. I've never paid for healthcare because I thought it was fucking stupid, and I'd rather just take my chances with the fucking VA. Fuck it. Fortunately, I'm like healthy, so I don't have any issues. But most people aren't. Most people can't afford, they don't live close enough to a facility to be able to take advantage of healthcare like that, Jared. Most people have to pay for healthcare because of their proximity to a doctor. I don't. I'm healthy and I live 20 minutes away from a hospital. I can walk into that ER today and get seen today, treated today, walk out and pay nothing. And you know what? After you've done that, you're like, why should anyone have to fucking pay for this? Why? Why should you only be able to stay alive if you could pay? That's fucking insane. And most of the time, when I ask someone, how'd you end up in debt like this? Someone died and I had to take care of their kids. I had major health problems. My spouse had major health problems. This is the debt that resulted in that. I had no debt. I had to max out all my credit cards just for them to die. Hmm. Hmm. So why are we paying for it? Especially like ongoing treatment. Why are we paying for that? That's a fucking terrible racket. Think about, you pay for healthcare and they barely are able to keep you. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Think about that. What product would you accept that you pay for and it only does a fraction of what it's supposed to? You would not accept that in any other facet of your adult life. You would not accept paying for something and only working a percentage of the time. And something to think about regarding healthcare, regarding universal, or not universal healthcare, United Healthcare. Do you know why? Do you know why Brian Thompson is dead? Brian Thompson is dead because since that man became the CEO at United Healthcare denied 8% more claims than it already did, and it was at 31% before he got hired. It was at 39. They were rejecting 40% of fucking claims. That's why Brian Thompson's not here. Because he did that. He got put into that position. Because he would be the one to do that. He was willing to do that for the shareholder. You know what I'm saying? And remember, if you represent a shareholder values, stop that shit. It's over. We are in my eyes, by the way, we haven't hit it yet. We are post-capitalist. That's where we are at. We are post-capitalist. It's we are rocketing toward a post-capitalist society. We are rocketing. We aren't in late stage capitalism. We're not in capitalism is bad. Okay, we are rocketing towards the abject failure of capitalism. That is capitalism. we are rocketing towards it. Which, for the record, spectacular failure. All those people that have been getting rich off of your suffering are going to be poor. Hmm? When everything that they built up that says they're rich breaks. The economy, the stock market. Hmm. Right. Meds are 250 G's a year, 125 G's every 6 months. Can't continue to do this to your family. Yeah, exactly. Why should you pay? Premiums are outrageous. Yep. Why pay for shit that don't work? It's that simple. In any other facet in your life, if you bought something and it didn't work, you'd fucking take it back. You'd be saying this is the most worthless piece of shit and don't buy it. And nobody would. And shit would change quick. I remember, listen to me. I remember when Super Soakers got recalled when I was a kid because the adults wanted Super Soakers that did like adult water pressure and they didn't build it because Super Soaker wasn't trying to get fucking sued. So Super Soaker, when I was in fucking elementary school, they came out with the three chamber fucking Super Soaker, and so you could pump hard enough so that an adult could shoot you with a spray of water that was like from an adult. Yeah. So think about that. They came out with a product, Super Soakers, water pistols. It's nothing. And the pistols didn't shoot a strong enough stream for adults. So Super Soaker developed like adult Super Soakers. So if we could do that, if we could develop adult super soakers, because we felt like the super soakers that existed were for children and they didn't really do enough for adults, we could fix healthcare. Yeah, absolutely. That's not hard to do at all. Yeah, look what we did. You know what I mean? And I know that's a crazy stretch, Jared, but just think about it. Like they invented more powerful super soakers so that adults could have water fights too. We've shown, and obviously there's better examples of this. That was just what I remember. That I remember the super soakers that came out. It was originally just a pistol, and it didn't have that strong of a stream. The bit wasn't that big, and the complaint from adults is that those are children's toys. That's fucking insane. Shouldn't it be free, Gabby? Should just be free. $600 for a 2 pack, only ever used in an emergency. Got to replace it every year. Fucking insane. And it's not just that we need universal health care, it's that you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve health care that seeks to fix the problem instead of prolong the issue. And that's too many people that I know that are smart fucking people have explained to me that there is a clear treatment and cure for what's wrong with me, and this doctoral administration wants to treat doing this other shit. Instead of doing what will cure me, get me the fuck out of this, I'm stuck in a treatment cycle. And again, I can speak on this. I was on active duty in the Marine Corps and I fucked up my shoulder. And the problem was my shoulder went this way into my fucking neck. You see? And so when they're trying to get you to do like arm circles and shit, and you're just like, you're a goddamn moron. The problem is I dislocated my first rib, and any big jolt I could be in a fucking wheelchair. That's the problem. They wouldn't even tell me, Jared, you dislocated your first rib, so we're gonna really quietly kick you out of the military and hope to God you never get in a bad car accident because you're gonna end up in a fucking wheelchair. That's dead ass. They didn't tell me that. They treated me like I'd just dislocated my fucking shoulder. My shoulder is not nearly the problem. But 40% disability through the VA for a fucked up shoulder. Why? Because there ain't a fucking person on earth that's writing down on a piece of paper dislocated first rib as a result of a training exercise. Any major jolt could put him in a wheelchair. That's why I was kicked out of the military. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. Yes, RJ Rady, all the things happened. All the things still happened, but it's like I know why my treatment was different than why they said they kicked me out, and the time frames and all that shit. And RJ dying. Think about what a doctor would do to protect himself knowing that they fucked up. Think about that. They just showed Luigi Mangione walking to court. He's gonna walk free. I'm telling you, they fucked this up. Have a good day. I love y'all. Change will come. I promise. But yeah, have a good day, everybody. We'll get out of here. Sorry to keep you so long.